It appears that Marvel Studios and Disney and Kevin Feige and Bob Iger believe in order to restart the MCU franchise, they needed to wipe the slate clean, get rid of all the stupid ideas that they had for 2024, and go with one movie, one franchise starter that would get people excited. Maybe like Spider-Man No Way Home. Remember that movie where we had Spider-Man in the MCU encountering different versions of Spider-Man from the other Sony movies and all that kind of stuff. We got Tobey Maguire, we got Andrew Garfield in there, and it got people very, very excited to the tune of almost $2 billion, $1.9 billion. And really, since Endgame and Spider-Man No Way Home was admittedly released right after Endgame, there hasn't been a big hit outside of Spider-Man No Way Home in phases 4 and 5. Although I think Spider-Man No Way Home might have been the last movie in phase 3. I think it might have been. I don't care about the phases. It's been bad as of late. They haven't made a whole lot of money. In fact, the MCU has started losing money, and they believe that Hugh Jackman portraying Wolverine and Ryan Reynolds portraying Deadpool and incorporating those Fox live action versions of X-Men and Deadpool into the MCU will restart the franchise. And it appears, at least from the early returns, that they are likely correct. In fact, they are breaking records when it comes to R-rated releases and pre-sales and all that kind of stuff. And it looks very, very promising. It doesn't look Spider-Man No Way Home promising. It doesn't look Avengers Endgame promising. It doesn't look Avengers Infinity War promising or anything like that. But certainly far more promising than anything that they released since Spider-Man No Way Home. And the early returns say that this movie will likely cross $1 billion. There's a good chance that it's actually going to do that, which would be a big, enormous relief, not only for Disney and the MCU, but just the movie industry itself, because it does appear to be bombing and falling apart in front of our very eyes. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman star Deadpool and Wolverine is off to a supersized start and set a new record for the first day advance ticket sales for the country's largest movie circuits. Tickets went on sale Monday for Marvel Studios' sequel, which officially opens in North America on July 26th, following previews on the evening of July 25th. Some 200,000 movie fans have bought their AMC tickets already. This is more day one ticket sales at AMC than any other R-rated movie ever, AMC Theaters chief Adam Aaron wrote on Twitter. And that is absolutely great news. It's good news for Kevin Feige. It's good news for Marvel Studios. It's good news for Disney. It's good news for AMC and Fandango and everybody else that has movie theater chains and stuff like that, because it does appear that they're finally going to have an enormous hit, which they have not had in 2024. I think the biggest movie so far has been Dune Part 2, which hasn't even hit $1 billion. Remember, in 1 year worldwide, I think Disney had 8 billion-dollar movies in one calendar year. We're talking about an absolute juggernaut between the MCU and Star Wars and Pixar and all that kind of stuff. And now they're just hoping they can hit $1 billion. But at least it looks like they can do that, even with an R-rated flick, which typically in the past, R-rated films have had a much harder time hitting some of these really high benchmarks, because you do end up cutting off a large portion of your audience. The younger people can't come in with their parents. Parents don't want to take their children in to see that kind of stuff. Although Jim, if you enjoy Jim from Weird Science, good friend of the channel, he actually took his 5 kids to go see Deadpool, which was an R-rated movie, and I think his youngest might have been 5 years old at the time. That one definitely backfired on him, because that was a very dirty, raunchy movie, and you could understand why families might not be completely comfortable taking their kids to see a Deadpool or a Deadpool 2 or a Deadpool and Wolverine. And we've certainly already seen Hugh Jackman laying the F-bombs left and right in all the previews that we've gotten, the Red Brand trailers and all that kind of stuff. It looks very irreverent. It looks very meta. They're going to be making fun of the Disney acquisition of Fox and the old Fox X-Men universe and all the stupid things that Kevin Feige has done at Marvel Studios over the past few years as Deadpool tries to save it all, as his universe is likely dying at the moment. At least that's what it looks like in the trailers. While neither Fandango nor AMC provided dollar figures, insiders tell The Hollywood Reporter that first day sales are likely around $8 million to $9 million if extrapolating the 200,000 stat cited by Aaron. All signs indicate that Deadpool and Wolverine will cross $100 million in its debut, a feat no 2024 title has yet achieved, as domestic box office revenues slipped 20% behind 2023, due in large part to production delays tied to the strikes. 2016's Deadpool and 2018's Deadpool 2 topped the list of biggest R-rated openers at $132.4 million and $125 million respectively, not adjusted for inflation. So as you can see, all these numbers are kind of in line with what Deadpool has done in the past. It literally has the 2 largest openings in the history of R-rated movies, and it seems like people really do like Ryan Reynolds, and it seems like they really love the bromance that he's got going on with Hugh Jackman. You know, the guys are always messing with each other on social medias and stuff like that, and it appears that it's going to be a very big hit by 2024 standards. Now, will it be a big hit by 2018 standards? Not really so much, and there's a reason they're caging this, basically saying it's the biggest release, of an R-rated movie, or, compared to the other Deadpool movies, it's doing really well, because it is doing well. It looks like it's going to do much better than Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and it's going to do much better than Dune Part 2, which I think has done $850 million worldwide, which I think at this point, Disney and Marvel Studios would take that number. But I think they are actually probably going to get closer to like $1.1, $1.2 billion, as long as people are happy with the movie. And I guess that's going to be the big tester for this one. It does appear, with the economy the way that it is and inflation rapidly rising, people are having to make the hard choices, and a lot of those choices come down to entertainment and leisure dollars and spending money on hobby. And a lot of people are actually waiting for that word of mouth. Is it a good movie? Is it not a good movie? We saw that with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which ended up being very successful. I think it ended up doing over $800 million worldwide. But if you looked at the opening box office numbers for that movie, they weren't strong in comparison to Guardians of the Galaxy, and especially Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, because people were taking a wait-and-see approach. Now, it does appear less people are taking that with Deadpool and Wolverine, because sales are very, very strong, at least out the gate on pre-sales. But I think a lot of people are going to be waiting to hear the news, because Deadpool 2, you might have liked it. I thought it sucked. I did not think it was very good at all. Somehow they dropped the ball on Cable, which didn't feel like it could happen. You had Josh Brolin playing Cable. It was probably supposed to work. They even dropped the ball on Domino. And I think this could be the big franchise starter, the Rock, if you will. What do they call him? Franchise Viagra at one point? Maybe Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman will be franchise Viagra for the MCU, but do not expect anything hitting Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, or even Spider-Man No Way Home. Deadpool and Wolverine selling around $8 to $9 million in first-day ticket sales. Thanks to an official press release from Fandango last year, we know it's selling significantly less than Spider-Man. Last year saw Taylor Swift crush all ticket sales records, where Fandango announced Swifties bought 26 million in ticket sales on the first day. The announcement also mentioned how Taylor Swift beat out the previous record holder, 2021 Spider-Man No Way Home, with $16.9 million. Evidence that Deadpool and Wolverine, at least for the first day sales, doesn't come anywhere close to Spider-Man, the Avengers Endgame, etc., and is close to selling 50% less. So while all this news is very, very good, and it's very promising, and it looks like they're going to turn a profit on this movie, and probably a big profit, I do not expect Marvel Studios or Disney to lose money on Deadpool and Wolverine. They clearly, well, maybe not clearly, at least from all indications that we have thus far, have not righted the ship yet. People are not ready to trust Kevin Feige and the MCU like they did previous, like they did with Spider-Man No Way Home, like they did with Avengers Endgame, obviously hitting $2 and $3 billion. But $1 billion or $1.2 billion, somewhere in there, is a really, really good start. And everything is kind of trending in that direction. And I think Kevin Feige and Bob Iger would take that as an enormous win. But they've got a lot more work to do if they want to right the ship and get back to $1 billion every time out the gate, because that is not what the MCU is anymore. And if everything what we've heard from Captain America Brave New World and what's going on with Blade and the reception to all the Fantastic Four announcement regarding the casting, it's going to take a whole lot more than lots of F-bombs from Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds and pegging jokes and the most, I guess, ludicrously offensive popcorn bucket of all times to get people to change their mind and to really start jumping back onto the MCU bandwagon. But this is an enormously promising start. They should be very happy with this. But there is more work to do, because they've lost a lot of money, not only at Disney, but certainly in the MCU. If you would like to see just how bad it got in 2023, and I didn't think it could get much worse, you've got to see this video where I break down the 5 biggest bombs in all of 2023. Disney had 4 of them, and I believe 3 of them were superhero movies as well. If you haven't checked this out, see this video right here, and you can see why Disney are investing so much hope in Deadpool and Wolverine. There's a link in the video description.